and like I wasn't expecting it to pan out as instantly as it has done. It's really strange because I'd say I'm almost closer to Andy now than I am to Reeve. 'Cause I speak to Andy like almost every day, but Reeve is just an elusive man to get a hold of. And I was expecting a lot more. This isn't top swaps, and just, like more. Do you know what I mean? Like more negative stuff, like saying, "Why are you doing this? Like stay in your lane," sort of thing.
What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another TotalSport video. I'm just here to say I'm just about to head off out now. So if you hit that subscribe button before I come back, that'd be greatly appreciated. The support now for Thomas' video was unbelievable. We're nearly now at 400 subscribers. If you guys can get us over 400 subscribers, I don't know what I can promise you, but more great content is what I can promise you. And we'll do something big for our 1,000 subscriber video, and we'll let you guys decide that. But yeah, let's firstly get into this video. Enjoy.
What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the TotalSport channel. And today we have got a very, very special guest with us. And one of my favourite YouTubers of 2020 so far, been keeping us entertained during lockdown. We have Mr. Itsjames. James, how are you, mate?
I'm doing well, thank you, mate.
What I find fascinating about James is that he's basically a jack of all trades, and he's a master of all of them as well, which is unbelievable. So we'll start from the beginning, mate. We'll start from the beginning.
Yeah, right.
So you're a doctor. You're a doctor. Was
Yes.
that always something that you went in to look to do in your life?
Well, when I was younger, so when I was like a kid, what I wanted to do when I grew up was be David Attenborough. And I thought that being a zoologist meant that you were David Attenborough, but actually it turns out that there's only one of him, and no one else really does the same job as him. So that sort of fell through quite quickly. And then I was actually at like sort of 50-50 when I was going through my GCSEs and A-levels as to whether I wanted to do sort of economics and like banking and that side of things, or whether I wanted to do medicine. But in the end, my mum was like, look, I know medicine's longer and you probably won't make as much money, but you'll definitely have job security. And like, I wasn't expecting it to pan out as instantly as it has done here, where like literally pandemic, so many people have been furloughed, but I'm still working.
Yeah, and well, we'll talk more about this current situation later on. But for yourself, you know, did you envisage yourself being sort of this multi-talented man that you are? You've got so much going on. Was it something that you envisaged?
No, not really, because I think it really, I mean, medicine, obviously, like I was already on that path and that was happening. It's quite a long-term process. I was going through uni, finished uni, was going to start work, etc., etc. And then it was just, like I've known Andy for like, I think it's been almost 4 or 5 years now, maybe. It's been quite a long time. And then I think I was recording videos with him anyway, because I'd go around to his house, we'd just to chill, and we'd go out climbing and do stuff, whatever. And he'd be like, look, do you want to do a video with me? We can do like a blindfolded pack opening or whatever. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like I'm super down for that. Did a few videos. Like we got some decent feedback on those videos. Like, oh, who's this James guy? Or what's his YouTube channel, etc. And he was like, mate, just start your own channel. Like, obviously I've gotten a lot of help from Andy. Big shout outs to him on the way to where I am now. And then it just sort of grew from there. I really enjoyed it. At the start, everything was so fresh and so new. I really enjoyed doing it. And now, like, I'm able to record with so many different people that I know some of them already. Like, I played with Jack 54HD. I played with him in the Creators Cup a few years ago and it was like Andy's football team, or his version of sort of hashtag FC, as it were. So I've met these guys in person. I knew them already. I know Ollie Reeve HD from school. Like, he was my friend in secondary school. He was actually my first. It's really strange because I'd say I'm almost closer to Andy now than I am to Reeve. I speak to Andy like almost every day, but Reeve is just an elusive man to get a hold of. Like, he's still my brother, but like it's so hard to contact him because he's also super busy. But I've known him since secondary school, and actually it was weird because we were both going to do medicine from college, but then his path got diverted. I think he didn't get the grades or something, and so he took a year out and did sports science, and then was doing YouTube at the same time. And obviously he's blown up on that, and so it's just weird how things end up.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you mentioned obviously you knew Andy. and you got into a few of his videos. So when you mentioned it, and you also mentioned it first when you first started off, it was fresh and new. So was it something that, you know, when you first started doing it, it was just like, wow, I could make an actual career out of this, or was it always something that you wanted to do alongside the medicine?
I don't know. It's difficult. I can't really. It was almost both, because when I started, I was like, "We'll see how this goes." There's no guarantee that anyone will like me, and I know at the start everything I put out is going to be bad, because I've not done it before. I need to practice. I need to practice my on screen, like just like chatting to the camera. Because for those of you who haven't tried it, sitting on your own in your room talking to a camera is really weird and feels kind of cringe. And you have to try and get over that, and then you have to be like over animated so that when you are on camera, it doesn't look like you're just really depressed, like not enjoying yourself. And then like the editing as well. Like I had to learn how to edit. Andy taught me how to edit using software and stuff, and then after you know how to edit, then it's about sort of finding your own voice, as it were, like, because everyone has their own style, and it's just finding what fits well with you, and then you can translate that to when you're recording. You know what it's going to look like afterwards, so you can like adjust how you say stuff and how you phrase things. But it's just like a learning process, like with anything. Like you just need to practice and learn and just do it loads and loads of times, and eventually you'll start getting better. Like I've still got loads of ways to go. I've definitely been hampered by the fact that I have to do medicine at the same time. I've not been able to like I really want to start learning how to use like After Effects and just adding more stuff on and doing more things and maybe spending a bit more time on the edits. But like I just don't have the luxury of time at the moment. Like I'm super rammed. It's something that I found recording with all the other YouTubers is like, because my schedule is so fixed compared to theirs, sometimes it's difficult to arrange to get recordings and stuff done, because they'll be like, are you free at 11? I'll be like, I'm at work that day. And they'll be like, oh, okay. And oftentimes I'll have to like, in quite a few of my videos I've done my night shift, which has been like 8:30 p.m. to like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. And then I'll be like, come back from work, try and stay awake for an extra 2 hours to record a video and then go to sleep. But so it's kind of, it is tough. Like it is tough on the time, but I'm enjoying it. So what can I say?
Exactly. That's what it's all about, is enjoyment. So for your videos, obviously, vast majority, if not all of them, FIFA based. Were you always a FIFA player as a youngster?
Yeah. No, I was always a FIFA player. I did enjoy it a lot. I think that I played it a lot at uni, and I think I peaked in like FIFA 16. I think was the most I ever played. And then probably FIFA 20 afterwards.
Yeah, it's a weird community at the moment, because like the game itself, it gets a lot of toxicity, I would say. But I think you guys, with like the mini games you do, bring a lot of positivity to it. Is that something that you would aim to do?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's something I'm super, because like actually in real life I'm a bit more toxic than I am on screen. And I say a bit, I mean a lot, but I'm very aware that people are like, it sounds kind of arrogant, but like people are looking up to me or like as a role model already. And like people are saying like, oh my God, look at this guy. And I have to be very aware of that when I'm replying to comments, or because I like with everyone gets negative comments, right? Like it's just part of being on the internet. But it's really easy for me to like, as soon as I see a negative comment, I'll be like, oh, it's like I want to like rant back at them or like write a tirade, like you don't know what you're talking about, blah blah blah. But like it doesn't help anyone, and all that happens is that kid gets angry, and then they reply with more hate, and it's just like it doesn't actually resolve or do anything like it. So I have to really be careful of. I want to try and portray myself in a more positive image, so I can at least show to other, or like the image that I show to other people is better than the person I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we had Blue Van Man on, actually, another one based around your area, I think, and yeah, he said something about comments, and when he first went on, it was difficult for him to sort of hold back. Do you think being friends with these YouTubers helped you out in that respect, because they knew how to deal with it?
I don't think so. I think it's more. I think it was more just me sort of being a bit more introspective, like, because I think I did at the start. I definitely did reply negatively to a few, like hate comments effectively. And all that happened was the kid just got really angry and started sending more hate. It was just like, well, this hasn't really done anything for either of us. So, and like because obviously you can like hide comments and stuff on YouTube. I try not to hide. I don't want to like be a censor and like hide everything that's negative, because I'm not like, you know, some people don't like your content. That's fine. Like you're very welcome to your own opinions. Like you don't have to like me. I'm not like some sort of dictator. But like I'll always avoid stuff like if it's like just overtly negative or just racist, like for no reason other than to like either try and get a rise out of me or just to I don't know. Like some people just get a kick out of it, I guess. I'll always remove those. But other people like say like, I don't like this. Can you do this instead? Like that's perfectly fine. And like some people write like actual constructive criticism in the comments, which is extremely rare. Like you rarely ever see that, but sometimes they do, and it's actually really nice. I'll see how I'm like, look, do you know what? I appreciate you spending the time to tell me what you think would be better. And I was like, yeah, fine. I'll bear it in mind going forwards.
Absolutely. So we'll cause a little bit of contention here now, James. So out of all your friends' mini-series and mini-games, which is your favourite to record and why?
To be honest, it's just anything I recorded, Andy, because even though like it sounds strange, because it's both for me it's better for the channel and for me. Because obviously I think he's probably the most successful YouTuber that I'm working with at the moment, like collaborating with in terms of views and stuff. And obviously Squad Builder Show now is like a huge series, and whenever we do that, I get so many more subscribers, so many views. It's always really good. But when I'm recording with him, I'm just chatting with him. Like honestly, I spend so much time with Andy, like playing games. I'll be texting him in the day, sometimes just chatting about stuff, and then I'll be playing Valorant with him at night or COD or whatever it is. And we'll just be chatting all day. So when we're recording those videos, it doesn't usually feel like recording. It just feels like we're just doing the FIFA series. We're just chatting, having a laugh. Like you can see from the last episode, I uploaded an episode of Squad Builder Showdown like quite recently. I think it was yesterday, Monday, I think it was. I can't even remember. But like we were both completely delirious in that. We're just like talking absolute rubbish the entire time, and we're just going off on one. But that's just sometimes that's just how we talk, because we're just I think we're so comfortable with each other, and we know each other's like humor, and we just got more chemistry, I think. So it's just easier.
Yeah, it's a big thing, chemistry and the collaboration and stuff like that. Certainly made for entertaining viewing. I did watch that the other day, and it was cool, rather funny. I loved it. So moving on, you're not just a doctor. You're not just a YouTuber. You could also string a few tunes on your guitar, mate. So talk to me about that. Was it again coming up through childhood? Was it something that you always did?
Yeah, well, actually, so the singing and the guitar thing didn't come till much later. What happened was, I think I was like, when I was 5, my mum was like, oh, you need to play an instrument. I was like, okay. And she said, what do you want to play, the piano or the guitar? And I said I wanted to play the guitar. And she was like, nah, it's too big for you playing the piano. So I started playing the piano when I was 5. And I played that for I had lessons and played that for about 11, 12 years, I think it was. So I've managed to get a diploma in the piano. So actually piano is my best instrument. And guitar, like I had to teach myself when I was 15. So I was like, I've had enough of this. Piano is getting me nowhere. I need to learn how to play the guitar and sing. And so I started doing that myself. I've had like maybe 1 or 2 singing lessons, but not like properly. Like they're just like sporadic lessons. Because my auntie actually in China, my auntie's a professional singer. So she's often got her teacher to just, I'll tag along to one of her lessons, and like they'll teach me for like 20, 30 minutes or something just to see how I am. But most of it's self-taught. So yeah, I play a lot of instruments, to be fair. I think piano is the first one, and then I had to learn the clarinet because I played in an orchestra when I was like 12 to like 17. And then I learned the bassoon, and then I taught myself the guitar. And like I think I played drums in the jazz band as well for a bit. But it's like drums I don't really count me playing the drums as learning how to play the instrument, because it wasn't very hard.
I actually played the clarinet as well back in the day. Really? So I wasn't very good. Yeah, well, my mum will tell you different. She thought it was amazing. But anyway, so how did you fit all of this in, mate? How do you fit all of this into your daily schedule, mate?
Now or then?
Both.
I don't think that, to be honest, I didn't have much of a social life back then. Like, I really didn't I didn't go out. I didn't often go to people's houses because my week was just rammed. Like, I'd have two or three music lessons a week. I'd have orchestra for 2 or 3 hours. I'd play badminton for county as well. So that was another, at the peak, it was 3 or 4 training sessions a week. So I was pretty much busy. I'd go to school, come back to school. I'd have something in the evening to go to and come back. And I think that's why I transitioned to so much of an online life. I watched loads of anime, watched loads of YouTube, played loads of games. I played loads of League of Legends over the years, just because I don't have to leave my house to do that.
Yeah, well, it makes it nice and easy. I mean, in that respect. So we'll talk about a couple of songs you've put on your channel as well, and the reception that you got. So I've actually got Perfect Days on my playlist. Not gonna say anything.
Love that.
So talk to me about that. Obviously, it's an original song. So yeah, where did it come from?
So I've been writing music since I was about 15, 16. It's really funny as well, actually, because I listen to the stuff I wrote back then and I'm like, this is bad. And I'm sure I'll say the same about the stuff I'm doing now. I wrote this one 2 or 3 years ago, I think. And I think this was actually one of the songs. So writing songs is really easy when you've got a really high emotional charge, whatever that is, whether you're really happy or whether sad or whatever. And I think this was actually one of the ones where I hadn't actually been through anything there. I was just trying to channel it again, and that was one of my first experiences of not actually having been through a breakup, which is where most of them come from. But then trying to imagine and reimagine the emotions and try and channel that through into that song. And actually, it's one of my favorite songs in terms of how it's put together.
Yeah, it is a decent song. Whenever I'm in a sad mood, stick it on. Yeah, that's exactly, the way. Exactly. Yeah. So, but how did your channel receive it when you started posting it? Because obviously it's a complete variety.
Yeah, I was very. I can't even remember what my thought process was behind posting the first video. I think I put a post on my community page and was like, "Do you guys want to hear any singing songs or whatever, or any singing videos, etc." And give me some requests. And then I think someone wrote "Take on Me, Aha," because that was the first one I did. And I was like, do you know what? Genuinely, that's my favorite song of all time, because there is never a time when you can't listen to that song. And it's just it's just such a catchy song. It's my favorite song of all time. And I was like, yeah, sure, I could do that. And there's a version or acoustic version that I basically covered, which was in Deadpool as well. So it's quite a recent film. It's a really good cover by Aha themselves. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting as many people to like it as they did. The majority of the comments, I think 99% of them were, "Oh my God, this is so good. Oh, this is great." Or I wasn't expecting this, which is fair enough, I guess. And I was expecting a lot more, "This isn't top swaps." And just, more, do you know what I mean? More negative stuff, saying, "Why are you doing this? Stay in your lane," sort of thing. But because I've even though I'm still very early on, excuse me, even though I'm still very early on in the YouTube career, my YouTube life, I haven't even reached a whole year yet, 1 calendar year. I'm trying to think forwards a little bit, especially because now we're reaching the tail end of FIFA. I know the month of August is pretty much dead for FIFA content because everyone's just waiting for FIFA 21 at this point, especially September as well. And I've always wanted to transition from FIFA into more stuff and some real life stuff and the music stuff. And I know, because I'm in a very unique position with my other career and things. I know a lot of people like watching, one of my first ever videos was Real Doctor Reacts to Scrubs. And a lot of people, and some people have been asking for that back even. So I was like, because that's something I can do after FIFA's done. And, it's something that not only I can do, but in this sphere anyway, only I can do. it's sort of planning ahead for the future, just trying to put this out, see how it's received. Oh, okay, it's doing pretty good. Bear that in mind. Maybe I can do more in the future when the FIFA content dies down a little bit.
Absolutely. So you talked about future plans for the channel. Is it something that you always like to keep in mind, like your plans ahead and the blueprint that you want to set out?
Absolutely. Because you can't, because like it's one of those things as well. Although it is fun and it's a hobby, because it is also a business venture at the same time. Like it does make money, and you can't separate the two almost, right? Because my life plan at the moment is to finish. So I've just finished my F1 year, Foundation 1, which is the first half of junior doctor training. I've got another year to do, and then after that I'm going to take a break and then maybe go YouTube full time. So it'll be next August, not the one coming, where I'll take a break for a year, go YouTube full time and see how it goes. But that also depends. If I do that, depends on whether how well this next year goes as well, because obviously there's no guarantee. Like this could stop at any moment. It's very a very fickle industry, I'd say. And it just depends on how everything goes. But that's the plan at the moment. Finish this next year of training, I've got my full license as a doctor now already after this first year, but then I finish my training, I can go into whatever specialty I want after that. And then just see how we're doing on YouTube, see if it's successful enough to be able to transition out of having two jobs and just the one. But if it's not, I'm not fussed either, because being a doctor as a backup job is not the worst thing in the world, right? Like that's how I always think about it.
Absolutely, it's brilliant. So we'll talk about sort of to finish off the impact of the pandemic on the sort of the three things that you're well known for. So first off, like the music, have you found that you've been able to have more sort of creative juices during this time, or is it just sort of dried up a bit?
I think, to be honest, I've been so busy doing everything else. Like some of my days are just so full of just go to work, come back from work, record a video, edit a video, go sleep. It's a lot of hours of the day that I have to spend just doing bits and bobs, because there's obviously not just the on-screen stuff as well. Like it doesn't take 20 minutes to record a video. It usually takes like a couple of hours, like an hour and a half to 2 hours sometimes to record a video, because we've got to obviously record the one for the channel that you see, and then the one for the other channel that you may also see. But it's just another video recording time to add on. And I've not really had not much chance to write. I think I wrote one song, but I've not had a lot of time to do many things.
Yeah, absolutely. And YouTube, has it seen? Well, obviously, people have needed the entertainment now because they've got nothing to do. Unless you're someone like me who's idiotic enough to do this, what I do at the moment. But yeah, how about YouTube, and how has it impacted the industry that you're in?
So I think it's difficult for me to say as well, because obviously my channel's so new and it is growing quite quickly. Like I don't know how much of it is views from pandemic and how much it is just views that I would be getting more anyway, just because as the channel grows, as I put more content out, the views is just going to go up naturally. But I know the CPM has been going down, or went down quite sharply over the pandemic, just because it's run by advertising companies, and because no one was working, no one had any money. So advertising companies were like, well, no one can buy anything, so what's the point of? So there were just less ads to run. So the CPM went down. So I know a lot of people were complaining that they were making less money despite their views being up.
Yeah, but it must be quite difficult, because it is quite unstable in that respect. So you can't really you can try and force it, but it's difficult to do. Whereas, and obviously the biggest one that it must have had an impact on it is your medicinal career. So pandemic wise, how stretched have you been in that time?
It was really strange, because at the start, so like in February, March, it was a lot of, I was on general surgery, which is just a lot of elective surgeries, which just means people will come in on the day, have their surgery, and then go home that day or the next day. So they were very small very small surgeries for people that were generally fit and well. And because they're not emergencies, a lot of them got cancelled because we were like, okay, we're getting ready for coronavirus now. Anyone who doesn't need to come into hospital is not coming into hospital. We're saving all the space for the patients when they come in, because the reason being they had to. So let's say you have a bay of patients and usually you'll have 4 of them in there. You had to then halve it to have 2 in there for social distancing reasons. Like you can't have 2 people next to each other because you don't know immediately if they've got coronavirus. You've got to do tests and stuff, and you can't put them next to each other and then find out one of them does. You've then like increased the risk for the other person for no reason. Like you didn't know, so you had to like make a lot more space. And to be honest, at the first few months, I really wasn't doing that much because I was on that ward and there weren't many patients anymore, and we were sort of just waiting for everything to happen, just waiting and waiting and waiting. And I think, to be honest, I've been quite lucky because in Nottingham, it's not been, from a junior doctor's perspective anyway, it's not been too mental. Like I've been busy, but I've not been like worked to death, as it were. The rota's been a bit stinky, so like my working hours in the week has been a bit stinky. At the moment, I'm doing like 2 normal days, which is like 8 till 4, and then 2 long days, which is 8 till 8, and then I've got 1 day off, and then I do the same thing again, which is like not normal. I don't think it's necessary at the moment, but I don't write the rotas. Yeah, I don't write the rotas, so.
Yeah, well, we wish you all the best of luck with that, mate. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.
You're welcome.
Where can we? Well, I don't think you need it from a little channel like ours, but where can we find you on YouTube, on Twitter, on everywhere?
If you search me on YouTube, it's James, and on Twitter it's James /James Zhao. It's Twitter /James Zhao, and it's JAMESZHA0.
Yeah, go drop him a follow. There's always some ramblings on there about some sort of FIFA. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because do it. If you don't do it, then you're lazy. Okay. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks for having me, man.
See you next time.